Welcome back, High Thumos. Today we're looking at the amazing, epic Latin poem about the Trojan horse. I'm going to get into this real quick, but guess what? I'm going to give you some of the best tips to get off your phone. Okay? The best tips, only place you're going to hear them. I guarantee you it's going to help cut the phone usage over 50%. These are things I did myself because when I looked at my phone time, especially in this quarantine days, I had to take it into my own hands and make some moves. All right, so we got to be strategic. Let's look at this story though, because it holds so much power. The Greeks were fighting a war for over 10 years with the Trojans. They were trying to siege the city of Troy, but they couldn't get in. They couldn't take it over. 10 years goes by. They have had enough. The Greeks come up with a plan. In their last battle, what they do is they turn away and hightail it home. They go on their sea ships, also known as boats, and they hightail it on out of there. And they leave this thing behind. And the Trojans are celebrating, rejoicing, and for some reason, they decide to take this ginormous horse and they decide to bring it inside. I think maybe they were thinking this is some sort of war vessel that the Greeks were trying to use, but let's just take this as a trophy for this victory that we've had. And so they bring it into Troy. And when it's in Troy, what happens is this thing has about a door somewhere in here, and it opens up, and these selected Greeks, these special warriors would come out, and they unlock the gates to let the other Greeks, they turn back on their ships, and they came back, and they stormed the city. They took it over. Hugely epic poem. You've probably heard of it, the Trojan horse. What I want you guys to know, though, is just like we talked about in yesterday's video, that our environment is what makes us. We are products of our environment. If our environment has a bunch of junk choices in it, and our environment is distracting and unorderly, then what happens? It affects us. It gives us choices that can negatively impact our life. But the same can be said about the tools that we use on a daily basis. And I found that this thing right here can be a tool or it can be an enemy. It can be a Trojan horse that has come into our life, come into our environment, and all of the men, all of the stuff that we don't need to be seeing is now taking over our city. It's opening the gates for more and more distraction, more negativity, more hate, more anger, and less hope to come into our city, to take over our domain and seize the place. Metaphorically, what a Trojan horse is any trick or strategy that causes a target to invite a foe to its secure, protected bastion, to its fort. And that's what the phone is doing. All right? The enemy comes like a thief in the night, and sometimes we're not aware of it. But I'm telling you guys, the phone is something we gotta be careful with. So here's a few tips. First off, if you notice, this is my old phone, but I would have the screen set to black and white. You see zero color here. This is called grayscale for Android users. This is you just slide it down right here, and you turn on the grayscale. Okay, now when you turn back on the color, I mean, look how cool that looks, dude. It's so inviting. It's like, man, like I'll get sucked in. Okay, so turn off the color, and I guarantee you, your desire to just kind of jump around, that goes away. Color has a dopaminergic sort of effect. The allure of color will pull you in. Another thing that I would do is use a thing I call a screen wipe. And I would take any of the apps that I find myself checking randomly throughout the day, teaching my focus to be more ADHD-like. And I would take those apps and I would put them in a folder all the way back to the very last page of my phone. Okay? And I noticed when I did this, the habitual of checking Facebook, checking Insta, checking Snapchat would totally go away. All right? Totally go away. I would have a split second to become aware of the cue, and I was like, hold on a minute, hold on. As I'm going to search for it, do I really need to go on this? and I wouldn't even go. I just put the phone down. Part of breaking a bad habit is just beginning to notice. So if you take them, put them in a folder, making it a little bit deeper, a little more entrenched, then you can get rid of that quick jump back and forth. Another thing is just to totally uninstall any of the social media platforms or games that you're using. A large majority of the day, you just completely uninstall them. That's the hard truth. You take this and you uninstall. That way you have it no more. There's pain to it now. You give yourself a pain barrier that you have to go through. You have to download the Call of Duty mobile again, and it takes like an hour. So I'm not going to do that. By the way, I tried Call of Duty mobile, played it for like an hour, and I was like, okay, this I could already feel is going to be addicting, and I'm going to put it away. I'm just going to uninstall. It's the best way, okay? So that's really it. Listen, the Trojan horse, the phone, we can't let it in. Another thing, don't mishmash all of your stuff on your phone. You don't want to be doing your work and then jump to your social media and then jump to, say, reading. You want to use your phone as a tool, right? It's a tool. So use it for like a select few things. Give your habits a home. Give your work habits a home. I wouldn't mix video games on your phone with work, with like answering emails, with all of this stuff, because then it's like when you go on your phone, what does your brain have to focus on? It's so used to being scattered. So if you want to play games, play it on a system, have a room, you play your games, and then get back out of there, and then you do stuff on your phone. But don't be using it for all of this random stuff. Get focused. You want to get focused, man. Especially in this time, we need to get focused. All right? There is a Aesop's fable about the lion, and he fell in love with this woodsman daughter. He was completely enamored by this woodsman daughter, a lion. And so what he did was he grabbed his lion nuts. He grabbed his lion nutsack, and he went up to the woodsman, and he said, listen, I'm swept away by your daughter. Can we please date? And the woodsman's like, okay, take it easy. Yeah, you can date, but I need you to, your teeth are way too sharp. You gotta file them down, take them out. So he goes to a dentist, gets them pulled. Comes back, he's like, hey man, got my teeth pulled. What else do I gotta do? Can I have the daughter? He's like, no, not yet. You can't take her out on a date yet. First off, just one last thing, just go ahead and file down your claws. And he files down his claws, and he's like, all right, finally I'll get to, be with this woodsman's daughter. And he comes back, he says, all right, I'm ready. And the woodsman says, okay, great, man, you did great. And he walks up to him, and he bashes his head in. He bashes the lion's head in. Just like that. The lion got rid of everything that made him dangerous. He got rid of everything that made him an alpha lion. And a lot of us have let a Trojan horse come into our life, invade our cities, invade our environment, and it's making us weak. We're taking away our focus, our ability to hone in with our two eyes, just like we evolved. We evolved by being able to look at something for a long period of time and then think deep into that thing, discover the essence of it, the spirit, the soul. And now we're taken advantage of by that same evolutionary being able to focus. Well, we're putting that into a phone. Right? We used to have a stick, and they were like, hey, what can I do with this? I can put a rock here, and then I can take this vine, and I can wrap it around. Now I have my first hammer. Okay? Boom. It's the ability to focus. Cattle have eyes on the side of their head. They're always scanning. Okay? Prey animals that get eaten, they have animals here to scan the periphery. They have eyes here to scan the periphery. But predators, they have eyes in the front, able to focus. And so what you focus on grows. All right? And the phone has become the epicenter, the thing that we're focusing on. Remember, it is a tool. Another thing you can do is take the home screen, the screen that you see every day, and you put something there that you're trying to achieve. Okay? This is called activating the RAS, the reticular activating system. It acts as a filter. It acts as a filter for all of the data that comes in. It helps us to focus on something. If you ever have, whatever car that you have, let's just say you have a Honda. I used to have a Honda. And I used to have a Mini. I used to work at Mini. And Ever since I started working there, I see Hondas and Minis all the time. Because my RAS has been primed and ready to go. My mind is telling it what to look for. And now I see it more. So guess what? You can use this to your advantage if you want to change your life. Let's say you want to lose weight. Well, make healthy food choices. Cook at home. 10 pounds in 2 months. Put whatever reminds you, keeps your mind focused on, because then every time you open that screensaver, or I should say wallpaper, because we check our phones on average 120 times per day. Just that little blip on and off. You're going to check that, you're going to see that 120 times per day. What's that going to do here? It's going to start to align you. You're going to start making better choices. So you can use that to your advantage. When I was trying to break the addiction, it was simply, this is a tool. As you can see, this is a tool. All right, that's it. And it helped me break the phone addiction. Every time I would see this, I would stop. I would say, you know what? This is a tool, probably the most powerful device that any individual has ever held in his hand. And now I can use it to my advantage. I can use it to learn. I can use it to create. I don't need to use it for entertainment. All right? Think about Adam and Eve, man. What happened? Something so simple as an apple, right? Something God said, hey, you know, Eve and Adam, just stay away from that one tree. You can do anything you want. Run around butt-ass naked. You can name all the animals, have everything you want. Just don't eat from this tree, please. Please do not do it. And a snake came, whispered in Eve's ear, gave her an apple. That's the end. She ruined everything. The fall of man. As the story goes. Let the enemy in. Okay, something so simple, something so small can come into our life and it can ruin everything. And you have to be wise and you have to take measures now to put it in its place. All right, that's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Story of the Trojan horse. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.